This episode of Rune News is sponsored by War Thunder. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Rune News. I am your host, Ryan, and as always, it's bloody good to have you guys here in the audience today. This week, Jagex has made some swift changes to Deadman mode and the Tormented Demons from the Wild Guthix Sleeps quest. If you're involved in either of those pieces of content, then this week's update is for you. Otherwise, we are still patiently waiting for the release of Valimor Part 2, which I'm sure is coming soon, and the release of the new Slayer boss, Araxxor. Just a quick reminder that today is the last day to sign up for the bingo in my Discord at discord.gg/BigDickEnergy if you want to jump in on the bingo, because next week on Thursday, we are starting 2024's subathon. Now, with that all said and done, we have one question for you guys to answer in the comment section down below involving your experience with Deadman mode. Are you playing? Have you avoided it? Have you been swapping gold? If so, how much gold have you swapped and made on the main game? Or are you playing for glory and hoping to win some of that juicy cash in the finale? Feel free to leave your answer in the comment section down below. Hit the like and subscribe button while you're down there. I would greatly appreciate the support. 100k subs by the end of the year would be nothing but a sweet dream for your boy. And now, before we move on to the old school RuneScape news for this week, a quick message from today's sponsor of Rune News, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made and is available now for free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations, ranging from biplanes and armored cars of the 1920s to the fighter jets and main battle tanks of today. War Thunder features a comprehensive customization system with countless camouflages, historical markings, and decorations for all types of vehicles, including ones created by the community. Take control of any tank or aircraft that you like with nothing but your mouse and keyboard or a controller, or if you really want to experience the game at its full potential, you can use simulator mode. Play War Thunder for free on the PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link in the pinned comment or the video description down below. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that include multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account. It's available for a limited time only, so be quick. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right in the helm of the most powerful war machines of our time. Join a worldwide community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles today and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. With an unmatched wealth of high-quality content to discover, there's simply no better game suited for fans of military history. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. This week's update to Old School RuneScape involves Deadman, Armageddon, and Wild Guthix Sleeps tweaks. Now, this is a very predictable and quite expected update from Jagex, given they just obviously released a big update and they've got the Deadman game mode going. I'm assuming Valimor and Araxxor will be coming shortly after, hopefully in the month of August. So in the meantime, here are the changes for the Deadman Armageddon. This week, they've already made a few changes on the side here, which you may have already noticed, and some new changes down below here. Nothing of great significance from what I can tell, though. However, if you're heavily invested in Deadman mode, I'm sure these impact you quite dearly. However, given that the majority of old school RuneScape players are more spectators of Deadman mode than active competitive players, we will just skip over this unimportant merch selling bullshit and move on to Wild Guthix Sleeps and the feedback, because Jagex has done a little bit of backpedaling here, a little bit of backsliding in the community's favor, which I'm sure you will all be happy about. Currently, the Tormented Demons have a mechanic where they basically just give you 100% accuracy on them throughout the fight. About 25 game ticks, or was it 25 seconds into the fight, you're guaranteed to just always hit them. Jagex wanted to remove this. People were upset that they've already figured out a strategy. They want to keep this mechanic. So Jagex has decided, whatever, we'll let you have it. So now, Tormented Demons are staying strong. I think that also means they're not changing the stats now. I could be wrong. They don't clearly specify that. Or they'll keep their stats and won't be fixing the accuracy bug. So don't worry about it. They're not having less health. They're not changing the defense. And you're guaranteed to hit these Tormented Demons the further into the fight you go. No changes are being made, which I think is totally fine. I mean, I've only done 160. I haven't had a second Slayer task yet, unfortunately. I'm still hunting for one, so in the meantime, I didn't find them too difficult. I hope you guys are happy with it. They're adding a teleport to the drop table, which is also very big. And with the recent drop table changes, I'm curious if you guys think the Tormented Demons are worth your time now, and worth the money at least killing. aside from obviously getting a unique drop. Otherwise, the rest of the changes to the quest are quite insignificant. There's nothing too big. Like, the biggest thing I can see here really is that the Snapdragon Seed is now free instead of paying like 18k for it, which is like whatever. There's a few combat changes. The Mark of Darkness will actually last 5 times longer now if you have the Purging Staff, which I kind of like, and makes me want to get that Purging Staff even more when I finally get a Synapse. And they've just made it a lot easier to travel around the Guthix Temple, because there's a lot of dead clicking zones and a lot of like rough tiles. It wasn't very well refined on release. They've just made it look better, they've made it feel better, and you can now put Brov, the little boar, in your player-owned house, which is huge. It's technically, he isn't technically a pet, but we assure you he's perfectly happy there. I would like to take him on a raid with me and see if that actually works. I don't actually know if it will or not, but you can put him in your player-owned house now, which is huge. Now you got somewhere for him to stay instead of stuffing him into your bank like a lost child. As for other changes, they've made a few decent tweaks, like the runes in your rune pouch can now be used for the Teleorb to Lucian's Camp, which is unironically big. On day 1 of the release, it was just like, I had the lore rune in my inventory, but it didn't count because it was inside my rune pouch. The Emberlight can now be used for the Master Clue Scroll Step as a stand-in for the Arclight, and can now be added to the stash unit, which is crazy that it's taken them, what, 2 or 3 weeks to finally add that to the game. Massive oversight by Jagex on their part, but they finally got round to it, I guess. And they've updated NPC contact options NPC contact options have been updated to reflect new NPCs. Just typical spelling error dog shit. Overall, this blog is pretty well expected for tweaks when it comes to the latest game mode that was just released and the latest quest. Nothing too special, nothing over the top. They're doing some collaboration here with Mitchy Fox, who I think was exposed for buying his Infernal Cape and his quiver, which is fucking hilarious. And then the other changes down here, nothing too significant other than the fact that Akka, Kefri, and the Nilos will now be affected by burn damage, which I think you got to be careful in Zarpus in case the burn damage is being taken while he's looking at you. Not 100% sure, but I feel like there might be some sort of oversight where you might get absolutely blasted off the map for that, so just be cautious of that event. Otherwise, PvP World Rotor is back on Oswords for LMS, which means Daddy's getting racist. And that is it for the Old School RuneScape update for this week. Now I'm going to give you a quick update on RuneScape 3 and what's happening with that game before we hand you over to our tamed Grand Exchange racing driver, Wade Green, for Rune News. RuneScape 3 doesn't hold any big events like Old School RuneScape does. There's no Deadman mode, there's no leagues, there's no Wild Graphic Sleeps, there's nothing. Just one hardcore fact about RuneScape 3 that keeps coming back, and that is the fact that RuneScape 3 is fucking dog shit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grand Exchange segment for Rune News. My name is Wade Green, and Deadman mode is on the fucking way. We got the Armageddon Cape fabric over here, 30.9k. This is an oversight, and this will be much more expensive on the release. I believe you cannot buy these at the moment. These are not tradable, but just know when you see 30 grand on the Grand Exchange, do not sell them for that. That is a scam. They're going to easily be worth 100x that on the day of release, but they will drop rapidly, so be careful, but be aware and watch this space, because as soon as Jagex releases them, they're going to go to the fucking moon. Next up, we got the Tormented Snaps, which has been out for about 2 weeks now at 59.3 mil on average, and we're sure to see this act. Honestly, I will be honest, I didn't think it was going to hold this much value this consistently, but it looks like it's actually trending pretty well. This may continue to rise, this may continue to fall, but I don't think it's going to bottom out heavily. 60 mil on average for the Tormented Snaps is actually quite juicy, and keeping Tormented Demons in the fold. Now with the teleport to the cave, they're going to be much more reliable to farm, which means there's plenty of money to be made, so get on the grind, get those Greater Demon tasks, and start sending them back to Lumbridge. Next, we've got the Twisted Bow bouncing around, bouncing around a little bit over here at 1.7 bill, but it is bouncing around a little bit below. We're looking to see 1.4 bill at some point towards the end of the year, but this is just what has been speculated by the experts. We are sent the information, we relay it to you guys. We do not call the shots. We are just the middleman projecting the information onto you guys through the idiot screen. So it's going to keep bouncing around a little bit more while it bounces around. Look forward to 1.4 bill to invest in a T-Bow then. Until then, 1.7 bill is a good time to sell. And finally, the mole slippers are back on the rise, which is expected and completely understandable, of course, given the fact that, well, they're going to be 30 mil this exact time next year. Mark my words, or unsubscribe. So now is the perfect time to not only invest in mole slippers today and become a rich cunt tomorrow, but to let your friends know that mole slippers are the way to go, because when they buy mole slippers, yours go up in value as well. My name is Wade Green. This has been the Grand Exchange segment for Rune News. Peace out. Our first Iron Man moment for the week goes to an Iron Man called Fricky Ricky. And he got a double magic fang drop. I don't know if you can see that from here. Sorry, right here. But that's 2 magic fangs in 1 drop. That's 40,000 Zora scales. GZ, for an Iron Man 2, that's big. Oh, but get rid of this. What is this? What is this garbage? You don't need this plugin. Just swap sides every time Zora moves to the middle position, either here or here. Change the other side of the island and you're sorted. Stop doing this. This will get you killed. Stop that. Next up, we have Rebel Montana, who fails to take an appropriate screenshot on mobile, getting the Rift Guardian at 7,392,581 XP. GZ, Rebel Montana. And finally, Sir Lexon has received Vedion Jr. from Calvarion at 292 kills and 0 Vedion kills. So he's a coward for not doing the big boss, but, I mean, he smashed it, got it from Calvarion. Beautiful drop, beautiful pet. And one final announcement from this asshole who's pinging me while I'm recording Rune News because he's desperate to get his screenshot in Rune News. So here we go. Check this bad boy out. This is Fergo, and this is him on Willy Bong Bum completing Sir Amek Vars, and no one GZ him in the chat. Not a single person drop a GZ because he's interrupting me and pinging Discord through recording Rune News. Otherwise, GZ on the quest, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for this week on Rune News. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ryan. You're watching Rune News. You've been watching Rune News. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's episode of Rune News on Rune News. You're watching Rune News. This is Rune News, and you're watching Rune News. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy.